It means there is no problem. It means that
We cannot afford to see you in when you're doing like this. Please give us another one. Please give us another one.
Someone dancing and we are not clapping.
Hello? Ladies and gentlemen, we can come back and convene as we enjoy these dances. The DJ, don't ready to get down now. We are ready to put our bodies together to make sure that we can listen to this dance. Yeah, can you give us an acapella? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Request you to come back to your seats and then we, as we prepare to go and have later. But the session I think is already seated. I want to give you the opportunity to be able to call in the team with which is going to have a panel discussion. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Manager. Yesterday we were told we shouldn't call you MC, but Strategic Events Manager. Thank you so much, and I also want to appreciate the dancers, the entertainers who have just been entertaining us.
Hi guys.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rachel Kogabe, and I'm a financial inclusion specialist with a very deep interest in business development services. Currently, I've been privileged to join AMFU as a business development services manager for ABC, that is the AMFU Business Concert. I'm very much honored because I love to build capacity of our institutions. I cannot wait to see Uganda, one of those countries where cooperatives or where financial inclusion is on the map. I cannot wait. And so I invite each one of us to join in the fight of financial inclusion. And when you have a neighbor, like we were told earlier in the morning, you have a neighbor that is considered underprivileged, please reach out to them and give them financial inclusion information. With all the services and the government programs that we have going on, we should not leave anyone behind. So thank you so much for having me. We are going to go into a session for consumer protection practices. This is a session that is very dear to me because if we cannot protect our consumers of financial services, then at the end of the day, whatever we shall do will be wastage of time and effort. allow me to invite the institutions that are going to present to us. In this session, we are going to learn and to hear experience of what they have gone through in terms of implementing government regulations. As we have seen, or if you have been very much interested in following up on what government is doing in order to protect consumers of financial services, you must have seen that Bank of Uganda released financial consumer protection guidelines in 2011, and those guidelines are being reviewed currently. But you also must have seen that UMRA, the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, also released financial consumer protection guidelines for 2019, and those guidelines are the ones that we are following as Tier 4 microfinance institutions. We also have learned a number of things, a number of facts from the reports, from the guidelines, but to bring us all in one accord, we need to know, when we talk about a consumer, whom exactly are we talking about? So, UMRA guidelines define the consumer as an individual or a small firm who uses, has used, or may be contemplating using any of the products or services provided by a financial services provider. According to AMQ report 2023, the Microfinance Industry Report, consumer protection is a fundamental indicator of social performance in the financial sector, promoting responsible finance and safeguarding customers from harm. I think the keywords are very clear: safeguarding customers from harm. So in everything that we are doing in deliberating our financial inclusion strategies, we need to be aware that there could be harm and for which we need to protect our consumers. We know also that government has gone ahead through Bank of Uganda to have the national financial inclusion strategy focus on delivering responsible and sustainable financial services, but also to strengthen financial consumer protection and developability. We have also learned from UMRA that the key areas that we are looking at are fairness in delivering financial services, reliability, and transparency. So the members or the panelists that are going to come and discuss and give their experience in implementing the guidelines are going to focus so much on the experience of, first of all, identifying fairness in delivering financial services, the reliability of financial services, and the transparency. We have issues of loans not being, especially the interest not being declared to consumers. There are so many areas that I'm so passionate to talk about, and I know that when we're talking about consumer protection, we can get really passionate. And so I'm going to stop here. I do not want to preempt what the presenters are going to present. Allow me to now call onto the platform the following institutions, and they will come take their seats, and each one of them will be given 5 minutes to share their experience in as far as consumer protection is concerned. All right, so on the stage we call Association of Microfinance Institutions in Uganda, Uganda Cooperative Alliance, Uganda Cooperative Savings and Credit Union, Milima Security. These are cybersecurity experts, the cybersecurity firm, Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority. I do not see president. She's coming. Uganda Insurance Association, sorry. And then Wakandi, a digital financial services expert in the house. As we wait for the other members to come and join us, I want also to alert my speakers that we're going to have 5 minutes. And if you're going to exceed 5 minutes, then we shall have to seek guidance. But because of time, please let's limit our presentations to 5 minutes. And we can always have these conversations. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to first of all invite Uganda Cooperative Alliance to share with us your experience in consumer protection practices or policies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, moderator. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ivan Asimwe, CPA, and I'm the General Secretary of Uganda Cooperative Alliance. First of all, Uganda Cooperative Alliance is the apex body for all registered cooperative societies in the country. Established on the 17th of June 1961 and established by Act of Parliament, Cooperative Societies Act, Cap 112 as amended, and given legal mandate. Section 29 says that the board of Uganda Cooperative Alliance shall engage government of matters of policy regarding registered cooperative societies. Section 17 is about arbitration, that in the event of any dispute in any registered cooperative society, the dispute shall be handled by Uganda Cooperative Alliance. Section 5 of the same Act mentions that in case the parties in dispute fail to get an arbitrator, the General Secretary myself shall appoint an arbitrator, and the decision of the UCA board is an equivalent of the High Court and is enforced by law. So meaning that UCA is a creature of the Act of Parliament as the apex body. The rest are unions below Uganda Cooperative Alliance. My friend here, who is a member, because he's a union below Uganda Cooperative Alliance. So, I'm very happy to be here. I should have come yesterday, but we had other activities, because throughout the whole week, we are the chief organizers of the cooperative activities. There are so many, I won't really repeat everything, but implementing the 7 spirits of cooperatives, concern for community, we have done a lot of blood donation, tree planting. Tomorrow we have the symposium in Masaka. On Saturday we shall have the national celebrations, and His Excellency the President will preside over, he has already confirmed. So I call upon all of us here to join us to celebrate. We are part and parcel of this because it is part of the activities of the whole week. So we are very happy to associate with this conference. And we thank the government, we thank Microfinance Department, we thank the whole ministry, our minister who is here, in charge of Microfinance. Thank you for supporting cooperatives. Very briefly, myself have been in the cooperatives for 21 years. The circles who are here, I started as a cashier of the circle on the 15th of March 2003, and it was a Saturday at 8 a.m. So I've been in the cooperatives for that long, and I've gone through the whole process. Cashier, loans officer, accountant, assistant manager, general manager of the circle. Then I joined UCA, where I'm the general secretary. So I've been through the entire process. And through that, then my experience specifically related to circles and then because of time. Otherwise, if I would talk about cooperatives, for those who have seen or heard me, it is a whole day. But I'll summarize in 5 minutes. Uganda Cooperative Alliance, 1990s there, started the move of establishing circles in the whole country. For those people who may not know. And they started with the support of government, UNDP. They moved around together with professors, Professor Suma, Professor Kamun, and Professor Kabonyera, and we started village banks that later transformed into savings and credit organizations. Now, throughout that period, based on the experience of UCA and my personal experience, these guidelines are very critical. Talk about fairness. You find in a circle, members are not treated fairly. I will give an example. Someone who comes to borrow money, but you are looking at very many issues. Some of them even consider religion. Are you a Catholic? Are you a Protestant? Because some of them are church-based. Some of them consider gender. They don't want to give women loans because they feel women are a risk. I will give an example when I was a general manager in South. 2008, a woman comes to borrow money. She tells us, I am a widow for the last 8 years. My husband died, and we all said sorry for the loss of your husband. My loans officer goes there for assessment, only to discover that the woman has a man. The man is alive, but the man drinks alcohol from morning to evening. So in our language, we would say, Arafuyahakas, you die when you are alive. So almost this person would not get the loan because she doesn't have security. So how should we be fair? Members, let us consider different categories of people. If you are not giving money to ladies because they don't have security, then you are not fair. Then sometimes some institutions have intrinsic costs. They hide the costs. They tell you the interest rate per month is 2%, when actually it is even 15%, but they are hiding those costs. The cost of assessment, that is appraisal, cost of application, cost of recovery, cost of monitoring, processing fees. So let us be fair. If we say it is 2%, let it be 2%. Now when you talk about accountability and transparency, because here when we are talking about circles, we mean the members, not customers. Circles have members. So accountability and transparency is very critical. As UCA, we promote that. We ensure that at the end of the year or any period, there is accountability, there is transparency. That's why, by law, circles which are cooperatives must organize annual general meetings and then report back to the members. Then reliability, the services we are offering, the products that we are offering to your members, are they reliable? So as Uganda Cooperative Alliance, we have that experience, and we call upon everybody here. Let us follow these guidelines for the good of the members, for growth and sustainability of both the members of the circles and also the institution itself. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Fields should be declared at the point of first interaction. Let's hear from other people. Association of Microfinance Institutions in Uganda. What's your experience in consumer protection? 5 minutes, please.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Susan, representing ACTU. I'm not going to necessarily go into the other principles that have been talked about for the interest of time, but I'm going to concentrate on privacy of client data as one of the principles of client protection. And of course, some of us that would be aware, this is a crucial principle that has been oftentimes expressed to our clients as an issue for those that are dealing with complaints handling. So, of course, this particular principle emphasizes that any financial institution should protect the information of its client, protect the data that you collect from your client, and use it only for the purpose. But besides that also, we are saying that it's important for you to ensure that the responsible staff within the institution safeguard this information. They will do that by use of a safeguarding system where you, of course, give rights to people that are going to keep this information. Otherwise, it will be very disappointing for a customer to give you their information, and the next thing, when they come to a banking hall, they see their, for example, photocopy of their national ID and their personal information intact, or maybe they are going to buy pancakes somewhere and they see a certain lady banking pancakes in part of their information that they share with you. So why is this important? We know that there are some repercussions that could, of course, affect you as an institution, but you would also lose your customer loyalty in that regard. But besides that, I think it's important for me to also comment about mechanisms for complaints resolution as one of the other principles. In the recent past, we used to see certain institutions using suggestion boxes as one of the means of collecting data from their customers or complaints. But you will believe with me today that this is almost outdated. Since we are now in the digital era, it's important for us to move with the times. And of course, using a suggestion box will not make it comfortable enough for the customer to air out their grievances. So we are saying, in order for you to be effective, any institution should get a designated staff in charge of complaints. Make sure that you have a clear system in place that is going to enable these complaints to be registered and then followed up. If necessary, it's important to also have a committee in place that can enable, especially the complaints to be handled. But also, as I share my experience at AMFU, we know that, of course, there are certain complaints that will go beyond our mandate. Those that we can handle, we handle them there and then. But, for example, we receive complaints from circles, NPIs, commercial banks, non-depository institutions. But when we receive complaints from commercial banks, for example, sometimes the mandate may not enable us to handle them. So we escalate them. We have a clear escalation process where we refer them to either Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority or Bank of Uganda for further redress. So in a nutshell, I think, like my colleague said already, when I look at the most critical ones, transparency still stands out of the reports that we share within our membership, and responsible pricing. Those two are still leading as far as complaints are concerned. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Susan. That was very good use of time. And we have a lot to pick. I hope we are learning a number of areas and we are putting our questions together. Uganda Cooperative Savings and Credit Union, we want to hear from you. They talked about transparency, data protection. What is your experience in implementing or in supporting institutions to implement the consumer protection guidelines?
Thank you, Moderator. Being a union, not directly engaged in the retail financial services. But the biggest interest we have with our members in respect of financial professional protection is through training and providing technical guidance to our members. But before I go on any specific consumer protection principle, let me also say that when you look at the cooperative principles, by nature, cooperative studies themselves are required to comply and implement consumer protection principles. The cooperative values include the value of equality, the value of equity, the value of openness, and the value of honesty. So these are all belonging to the cooperative, to the consumer protection principles provided by Bank of Uganda and Kumara. But we also remember that we need to have the 7 consumer protection principles of the SMART campaign, which are also about transparency, prevention of intelligence, design, delivery, fairness, privacy of private data, and the mechanisms for concrete resolution. So going back to fairness, during our interactions with circles, we emphasize the importance of the procedures, we emphasize fairness in terms of the pluralism of institutions, existing for us and for rights of the members. So we emphasize this from time to time. But there is also a component of levels of circles, avoid crime, or prevent crime, or violent enemies. And how do we usually do it in circles, what are also in circle? We detect the crimes of potential violent enemies during the run-of-the-mill process. That's why our officers are trained to go through the entire process to identify any institutions where the potential follower may be following from and feel that the person is paying well or not paying well. This may look contradictory to the principle of client protection, but there is a conciliation. Because we know, for example, that the Cooperative Society Amendment Act makes it mandatory for a client to undergo a credit check before they apply and receive the loan. So we are encouraging as many circles as possible to enroll in the credit transparency at Europe and get consent from the members for the So as Kutu, we entered into a partnership with some of the credit transparency service providers, and we are trying to support the role of the service providers. In that way, we are able to identify protection for identities over time. Of course, you know, left alone, clients very high data. They don't want to say you where they are borrowing or how they are paying in case they are borrowing from organizations. The only challenge we are having is that, as I have said, with the exception of regulated institutions, suppose, because we are not yet regulated institutions, enrollment of especially the is largely voluntary. So you may provide information, but your neighbor will not provide information. So that means we are only accessing part of the services. I'm saying this because you see a challenge of preventing clients violations. And to me, this is the most critical area which we need to address now. When it comes to transparency, my colleague from has mentioned it, we need to be as fair and as transparent as we can when we without loans or when we are maintaining people and members and savings deposits. So the type of information we give to our members is so critical, and we know we are encouraging our circles to automate their accounting systems, their MISs, so that we will not wait for a client us for a statement of participation based on this account. Even when you activate the different transaction that takes place, remember account is directly or immediately communicate to the members via SMS. So as opposed to, these are the areas where we try to bring our significance good training, technical assistance,
Thank you so much, Ukusku. I see Ukusku throwing the ball back to the consumers. As we are all here, we are consumers of financial services. And if we cannot declare and disclose what other loans we have, then we risk being overregulated. And that you cannot blame on the financial service providers. So we also have a part to play in consumer protection, and Kutsku rightly put it out for us. We have a complexity of fraud cases and scams on our digital platforms is alarming. And so we want to know from the digital financial service providers, all those who are linking us, who are doing the linkage, how are you handling this? How are you protecting us as financial service consumers? So let's start with Milima Security. What's your experience and how are you handling the cyber fraud and threats?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. I know we are the ones standing between you and lunch, but let's keep it strong. My name is Emmanuel Chagara, the Chief Executive Officer of Milima Security. At Milima Security, we're working with many circles and financial institutions to strengthen their capabilities in cybersecurity and digital forensics so that they are able to respond to any emerging threats. I think one of the biggest conversations in this forum right now is how do we ensure that we're embracing technology securely. We all understand the relevance of technology in our work. So I think by the time you're in this space and you're questioning whether you should be embracing technology to optimize your processes, I think you have your answer by the end of the day. But the bigger question is, now that we all agree that technology is very crucial for the success of our circles and cooperatives, we also have to ask ourselves, are we aware of the emulating risks around these technologies? It goes without saying that I was actually having a conversation earlier before this session with one of my colleagues in the industry, and I was talking about how when they onboarded core banking systems, mobile banking, they were able to increase their revenue by 5x. So imagine instead of you going to open a new branch in say, Barara, instead you have your onboarded core banking and mobile banking. It shows the relevance of technology in increasing your value, increasing the number of subscribers, and all of this. So my talk to you today is about how do we then implement the necessary consumer protection along the lines of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity basically refers to the controls and implementations that we put in place to guarantee the safety of our transactions, the safety of our users, and generally the safety of the organization. Today we have moved away from the question of thinking that cybersecurity should be a technology problem. Now we should understand that it is a business risk. And we all agree that our circles are businesses, and if we are not putting in place necessary controls to protect those digital assets, then we create business risks for ourselves. I think it would not be fair for you as a general manager to walk into office one day and find that over 500 million has been emptied from your core banking system. I don't know how you will explain that to the members. So, thinking about achieving cyber maturity is the big question that we should be discussing. Over the last 3 years, Milima has been actively working with various circles, especially within Central and Western region, strengthening their cybersecurity communities. And particularly, we have done this through cybersecurity training programs, where we walk the participants through, this is what your risk looks like, this is what is your responsibility as a governing board, this is your responsibility as the executives, this is your responsibility as the technical teams, and then from a perspective of technology. But to summarize this, when we are achieving cyber resilience, there are three critical things that we should have in mind: the people, the processes, and technologies. We must ensure that we're putting in place necessary controls to protect our people. Extensive training programs are very relevant, not just to the organizational staff, but also to the users. The 50,000, the 20,000 subscribers should understand their responsibilities in terms of using the digital tools. The processes, policies, we must make sure that we have necessary policies to protect the usage of our systems. In terms of technology, one of the key things to do is what we call security audits. We must audit our systems against known vulnerabilities and non-vulnerabilities. Once we're able to achieve this, then we can ensure that we can walk our way into maturity. Now, in summary, and even after this, I want to invite you to the tent down. You will find the team from Ilima Security. We can have a lengthy conversation on how we can have a personalized support for your SACCO to ensure that you have necessary controls to protect your systems.
Thank you so much, Melima. I see the passion with which you speak about cybersecurity, a reality that is for all of us. People, processes, policies, and technology. That is what we pick from Melima, and we have to pay attention as financial institutions. Wakanti, for digital financial systems, you are known for developing and for installing systems. What is your take on consumer protection, and how are you ensuring that this happens? All right. Sorry about that. Let's go to UCAPS. I'll just throw that question to UCAPS. How are you addressing, or how are you ensuring that consumers are protected with your digital financial services that you're providing?
Thank you so much, moderator. My name is Brian Kwesije. I work with Uganda Central Cooperative Financial Services, which is for automation and digitization. You will all agree with me, and the others that are here, that they were using ledgers and passbooks. SACCOs never had computers. They never had reliable power supply. Those that had desktops were using Excel. Those that had branches, managers had to ride motorcycles to go and supervise them. Those that had an MIS didn't want to use it. Staff were hesitant to use the MIS because they actually didn't know how to use it or didn't want to use it. Members would only rely on passbooks for accountability. Reporting was a hassle. Members had to visit their SACCOs to access financial services. SACCOs could not even dream of being on the CRB. Access to external loans was an issue. Managers by then would report what they want because data was extracted from ledgers. Compliance was an issue. I think by then government didn't even know where to start from. And SACCO members were at the mercy of those that had keys to the safe. But after that, we did a lot of automation. We've automated over 300 SACCO units across the country together with our partners. And this has brought in improved financial management and service delivery, improved efficiency, marketing, and supervision in operations of the SACCOs, easy inter-branch connectivity, mobile banking for SACCOs. I remember when we were doing mass launches for mobile banking, a member would go deposit money on their account, then go back to the SACCO and confirm if actually his money has been debited or credited on his account. That was like they thought it was not going to happen, but it happened. We've seen a lot of convenient banking for members. That the CEO of Apple mentioned that during COVID. Those that were automated and digitized were able to continue operating. We have seen a lot of transparency in the transactions that members are doing and a proper accountability. So if you see any general manager or chairman here checking their phones, it is because now everything is digital. They can check wherever they are and whenever they can. There has been security of member deposits. We are only accepting deposits from the circle. But now they are interested in giving. This is an in-house software which we developed. It is a hybrid system, and we empower all circles to ensure that they are automated and their systems digitalized. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Lucas. That's a very good use of time. And you told us how you're doing in terms of automation. Members, we shall have more conversations. We shall not have the questions right now, but I encourage that we meet these institutions, because these are representatives, but we get time to meet the individuals and have thorough conversation in terms of consumer financial services, consumer protection, because it's very important for us. Now, last but not least, let's have Uganda Insurance Association. We cannot talk about financial services without talking about insurance services. How are we being protected on that end?
Good afternoon, delegates. I hope I am audible. Now, of course, I must commend the organizers of this conference for a job well done, ensuring that they're able to bring all of us here to showcase how we are able to support the customers in different institutions. Now, I come from an industry, insurance industry, which probably is the most misrepresented regarding understanding and also regarding issues of how we operate. And moderator, I don't know how in 5 minutes I can be able to relay this information and try and demonstrate the value that we've created in the circles with the financial institutions. I will tell you that I come from an institution, the Uganda Insurance Association, which I lead as the chief executive, and my name is Antonio Sachi. But I'm very proud to come from an industry where we wrote 1.6 trillion in return premiums, and of the 1.6 trillion, we paid 820 billion in claims. I'm very proud to be coming from an industry that contributes over 300 billion in taxes every single month, every single year, but also an industry that is growing steadily in terms of life insurance, which now contributes about 38% of our market. And life insurance is predominantly individual insurance. But